Well, hello, SLAE family. We are going to have an amazing day. I don't think I've been this excited in such a long time because we have these three, look, I'm giggly. We have these three incredible women here that represent a very exciting organization. And not only are you going to get to learn from them, but I promise you will be inspired because the only thing I like better than being able to talk with women who are out there making a difference and breaking barriers are women that are paving the path for other women to do it too. And that is what we have on our hands today. So put your seatbelt on. This is going to be one heck of a little interview we got going on. So to kick us off today, we are really excited to introduce you to Ebony and Orderly. And to tell you exactly what that is and have you meet some of these members, I am going to take a second and turn it over to Tiffany. So Tiffany, would you please take it away?
Thanks so much. We are excited to be here and excited to share. This is one of our favorite things to do, is actually to share with different audiences about organizing and productivity. So we are 3 of 6 organizers who make up Ebony and Orderly, a group of 6 professional organizers. And our goal and mission is really to empower others to live their best self through organization and productivity. So the wellness side of organizing and being productive, not just to check things off your list. So that's who we are. The 3 of us are gonna be sharing some of our tips. We're going to be taking some questions from the audience as well. And so feel free to interact with the chat because we'd love to interact with you. But just a little bit about how we met. We were in a Facebook group called Professional Organizing Sisters, and that Facebook group still exists. They're professional organizers of color. And someone put out there, are there any organizers in Atlanta? And the 6 of us commented. We met for brunch, met over one of the organizers' house, and about 2 months later, we put on a whole organizing conference. We had attendees. People were coming to figure out how to organize their houses, their workspaces, if they're caregivers for children or elderly parents. So it was great. And we've been doing that conference every year since and working together since. So all 6 of us have our own organizing businesses, but we support each other for collaboration. We recognized that was missing within our community, was our industry, let me say it that way, being able to find other organizers who wanted to work with organizers of color. So we kind of created our own space. And since then, we have also founded the National Association of Black Professional Organizers with, I think, at least 50, a little over 50.
No, we're in the 70s now.
What? Yeah. Oh my God, I had no idea.
I know.
We are 70 plus organizers of color across the country. Are we international yet?
We're across the country. We're going to stay with that for now until we get a couple more connections.
So yes, that's a bit of who we are. And I'd love for each one of us to tell the audience a little bit more about who you are. So your name, ladies, the name of your business, your specialty, because I don't think I mentioned that each one of us has our own specialty within organizing. Who knew that was a thing, right?
Right.
And why you decided to take on this journey of entrepreneurship.
So I'll start. My name is Dina Smith, and my business is Closet Therapy with Dina. What was the other question?
Your specialty.
Oh, I am the kind of emotional, psychological piece. I'm a licensed therapist, coach, and professional organizer. And so a lot of the clients that are attracted to what I do struggle with anxiety, depression, and a multitude of overlapping issues. But for a really long time, the world of therapy and organizing, I kept them apart for a very long time. I used to manage the Container Store here in Atlanta. And so One day I merged the two worlds. I was previously called Organized Life Works, but Closet Therapy with Dina came with the merging of the two worlds. And so my end of the spectrum is kind of that psychological piece, the internal clutter, and really helping women mainly to strategize on a way to kind of declutter their lives in a way that helps them reach their definition of what amazing look like.
Outstanding.
All right, my name is Carolyn Rogers. My business is called Neat Nerd Solutions. It's called Neat Nerd because I come from a background of engineering. I'm actually a part-time organizer. So I came to this because I needed something a little bit different than what I was doing. As in, I still love engineering. I know most people start another business because they hate their full-time job. And I actually don't hate it. I actually still like engineering. I'm still, a proud nerd here. But I needed something else to balance out. So something that needs to be a little bit more, for me, it's kind of like my way to be more creative as opposed to technical. I'm a general organizer, so I don't necessarily specialize in one area, or let me say that differently. I work across the board, but I do a lot of paperwork, like organizing paper, helping people to become digital, which also is another form of productivity, helping with productivity. And let's see, I feel like I'm leaving one of the questions out. Specialty, my journey.
Miss Carolyn is the bomb. She is our resident food prep, how to organize your whole, every conference. She's being so modest right now. It's so cute. But she is our resident food prep extraordinaire. Everything about food, how to do it, how to get a week out of it. She's being very modest. I'll say that.
Can you move to Maryland, Carolyn? Because I can really use some help.
It's for food prep. I think I probably always leave it out because I'm not like a nutritionist. Like I can't give you dietary options, but in terms of meal planning and meal preparation, yeah, I've been doing that for quite a while. I think I was probably meal prepping before I actually knew it was a thing. So I've been doing that for probably about 15 years now. So I've kind of mastered the art of making several meals in a very short amount of time. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Thanks, ladies. And I'm Tiffany Blassingame. I'll be the moderator of the Q&A today. But my business is Simple Organization, and I help busy parents and students get organized. So my specialty is student organizing. I call myself a full-time school administrator of a private school and a full-time organizer because I spend just as much time in both worlds. And what I love about organizing in my organizing business is that it helps me to turn off that other job. Yes. So it allows me to say, I really want to do what I feel passionate about. And so I'm going to leave that work there until the next day during my required hours to work on that. So that's pretty much why I started my business. I do have a 15-year-old son. So when we talk about student organizing, I have been through it from preschool through high school. I work with college students and really having some one-on-one time with them, and then also helping the family to understand their child and what the child's goals are, and then how to make that happen for them while the parents are, so that the parents are not like pulling their hair out trying to figure out why they keep having those missing assignments. And I bring that up because I just finished talking to a client today about it. So Leanne, did you want to kind of jump in before we start?
I did want to jump in. I wanted to do two things. If you didn't mind, because I know the three of you are here, would you be okay sharing what the other three women who run your group, what their specialties are too? That would just be kind of nice in case it rings a bell for someone who's looking for help.
Absolutely. So Naima Ford Gosen, she is the owner of Restore Order Now, and she specializes in closet closet design. So I forget the companies which she has worked for. Dina, you might.
She's worked for the Container Store and California Closets. Myself as well. We both do a lot of design. So some of our skill sets overlap, and we kind of can coordinate and pass work off that in that way and support each other as well. But she has learned her design techniques through the Container Store and through California Closets. And there's
I think she's currently with Closet Envy.
Closet Envy, right? Gotcha.
So
go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that Naima is really big on not just organizing or tidying up the space, but also making it look really good. It's that home edit look. You guys know what I'm talking about. Watching.
Yeah, she's good with the accents, the decor.
Right. She's good at styling.
Styling.
Right.
Store style.
Right.
And Naomi Kialo is an organizer. Her business is Thrive in Order, and she specializes in residential organizing, so any organizing of the home and space, and moving and unpacking. So that's a big thing, especially when you have so many different areas that you need to get packed up, and you don't want to carry stuff over that you're not going to use anymore. She's really great with kind of helping you make decisions about what to actually take and then pack it up for organized move, color code it, and get it to where it needs to be. And does anyone want to introduce Shahida or share more about Shahida?
Shahida is our productivity guru. She's now doing real estate full-time, but always lends a hand for speaking engagements and anything related to time in the home, whether that is managing your time to prep your week, anything productivity related. She's kind of our guru in that area. She is our timekeeper.
Family home management.
Family home management, absolutely.
Outstanding. So we know a little bit about each of you, and I know we're going to do some questions and all kinds of fun stuff. But we have people from all over the place, not only all over the United States, we've got some people from Australia and Japan and the UK, etc. And so I know I'm wishing I lived in Atlanta with you right now, but the good news is, don't some of you do virtual? Didn't you put a virtual component in during COVID?
Absolutely. My therapy clients, I've been I've had a certification in telemedicine since 2015, so way before COVID. I've specialized in speaking with moms in a way to make that more convenient with kids and parking and Atlanta traffic. I've been doing telehealth for quite a while, but with COVID, it has forced a lot of us into a lot of different areas to grow, and virtual organizing is a very helpful, beneficial thing as well. As if you can move that phone around the house, we can walk you through the physicality of it.
And we also
And then Carolyn, we could take our phone to the fridge, right, Carolyn?
There you go. You take it from the fridge, turn it around. Let me see what's going on in there.
So Tiffany, I'm going to turn it over to you now, because I know we're going to handle some questions and everything. I'd love for you to take that away, please.
Yes, so we have some frequently asked questions from our own community. And so we thought we'd share those first, and that may spark some ideas or questions that the audience may have, just those burning questions that you want to know, like what in the world am I going to do about whatever. Put those in the chat. But Carolyn, this one is for you, okay? I have so much paper. What do I toss and what do I keep?
The joys of paper. Paper. Okay. Now, one thing I always tell people is that paper, two things that can make any space look way worse than it actually is: paper and clothes. Like if they're all over the place, that it makes everything look way worse. And then, but a lot of people have problem taming paper. It's simply because trying to decide what you need to keep is extra. It's like, okay, well, what if I need this, or what if I need this later? So one of the things that I always ask clients is, first of all, is it a legal document? Meaning, are there any legal ramifications if you don't keep this? And then after that, does it have to be in paper form? As in, is there another way that you would look for this information? Meaning, most of us, I don't know about you guys, but for me, If I'm looking for something, 9 out of 10 times, I'm not going to a file box. I'm going to go and look it up online. I'm going to log into the account. I'm going to Google it if it's just general information like that. So those 2 questions will probably help you eliminate a good deal of the paper that you have. Another thing to keep in mind is most of the paper that we have now, especially now in this age of online, a lot of times we have the option to receive statements electronically. So you can cut down on the amount of mail that's coming into your house, because basically most of the paper that we get comes in to the house in the form of mail. So if you can cut down on the amount of mail that comes in, and determine, like, or even if you decide, like, I'm a person that I need to see something in order for me to do it, meaning I need to receive a paper statement for this bill to get paid. And that's perfectly fine. The question is, what do you do with that bill when it's done? And how long do you keep it? So one of that comes down to making sure that you release it within a timely manner. Most times we can pull bills up online. For most companies will hold them for at least 2 years. So you have 2 years worth of statements that you can look up. So you definitely wouldn't need to keep anything longer than that time period. And if you are still having trouble determining, like, what to keep, how long to keep it, after you come up with a good filing system, make yourself go through regular intervals of purging it. And as you do that, that particular action will show you how often you actually went back and looked at something. So if I say that I'm going to purge something every year, January is a great time, or tax time is a great time. Some things that have some key triggers to make you do that, then you'll realize that, okay, I collected 12 months worth of statements and I never looked at them again. So do I really need to continue to save these statements? Yeah, I think I covered the question.
Yeah.
How long do you keep something? How much trouble is it going to cause you if you don't have it? Yeah.
Well, and I love that you mentioned the bills, because a lot of times we hang on to bills thinking, oh, but I might need to reference them later. But I love that you brought that up. And the system of, having a filing system to actually make you look back at it. So
yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. Now, this next question, frequently asked question, I'm going to ask all of us to chime in, okay? The question that we often get, you ladies will recognize this. What system can I develop to manage my family and my work?
I'm going to say that depends on the age and ability of your family, right? Because my 11-year-old, I have 11-year-old and 20-year-old, we're all old enough to go onto my Google Keep and update the grocery list. If there's something you need, if it's not on the list, you won't get it, right? And so depending upon the age of your child or the capability of this family system, whoever that may be, your family may be grandma, it may be whomever, whatever language they speak that language so that it is below the capacity of everyone. So I say that to say the least line of resistance. If it's a visual calendar on the refrigerator and everyone gets their own color Sharpie, then I'm red, you're blue, we know who has to do what. Like, that is our command center. As long as we all understand the same language and it's super, super basic, super simple, that's my tip.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I am, and this is probably going to sound funny coming from me, as a person who has no children, I always advise my clients and friends and family who have children to get them involved. Because as a means of not only keeping yourself from burning out, trying to do everything, but it's also an opportunity for you to let your children develop skills to be able to do these things for themselves.
Absolutely.
So along the same lines of what Dina is saying, like things that are age appropriate. I always say, like, okay, you might not have a someone that's too young washing dishes or loading the dishwasher and whatnot, but who's to say that a toddler can't put toys in a toy box? You know, if they can pick it up and walk around with it, then you can create an activity that has them put it away. So I think not just it's not just that anything specific about the system that you develop, but that you have a system, period. And that you practice it and do it over and over. And then, especially if you start when they're young, then you slowly build and add responsibilities based on their ability, based on their, capacity to do such things. I mean, you can only imagine, like, growing up in a household. I'm the youngest of 9 children. So my mother had a house full of kids, and imagine what that would have been like had she tried to do everything herself. So, but what I remember is slowly over time, we each had increasing responsibilities, and I can say that I can count that as being probably 90% of the reason that I became an organizer, just from things that I learned from how to do that. So whatever system you choose, whatever system works for your family, and sometimes that might take, trying some things. I've talked to several people that tried something that didn't work. Okay, so it didn't work, so let's try something else. Like, you continue to adjust until you find something that does.
So Carolyn, I got to jump in here for a second. You're one of 9 kids. Was one of you tasked with the responsibility of hanging up your mother's halo every night? Because that's unbelievable. Sorry, take it away, Tiffany. I'm just having fun with you. That's amazing.
No, it's good. Like,
my mother, I'm such a wimp.
But she's still a saint.
Yes, absolutely. My tip would be, and I tell clients this all the time, is your morning routine begins at night. So getting as much done the night before, so that when you're going out the door, you're not looking for the PE uniform because you realized it was PE day, or the ballet slippers and the dance bag that you should have had. And for parents, your work bag, where you get to work and don't have your laptop. Even snacks, and going ahead and packing as much of the lunch that you can the night before really helps. So your morning routine begins at night is what I often tell families, to just start with that and see how much smoothly your morning runs. So thanks for sharing those family tips. I've got one more frequently asked question before we take questions from the audience. So I hope they're getting their questions ready. Dina, this is going to be for you. I have so much to do, but so little time. How do I find time for self-care or wellness?
All right. So self-care and wellness runs the gamut of activities. It could range from great decision-making, quiet time, and of course, spa days. Spa days, we never want to leave out spa days, but in a very minuscule way, we can take 5 minutes to ourselves and start super, super small. As women, we set the tone for the entire household, and creating boundaries around our time, whatever that looks like for the age appropriateness of the other people in the home, or even if you're single, creating boundaries around your time is the most valuable thing you can do to create balance. If you have to start with from 3 to 3:15 every day, I'm either breathing, journaling, or just sitting in quiet. Honoring that for myself is a boundary for you. I'm not taking calls, I'm not checking emails, that's not anything. You are honoring yourself. And that, in the simplicity, is anything that adds to your overall wellness is adding to that balance and that ratio. So rule number 1 and rule number 2 and rule number 3 is start super small.
I love that. I also start like first thing in the morning. I don't know if anyone else can, if everyone else can do that, but like my very first thing is to do something for myself. And it could be super small. It could be a cup of coffee. It could be a walk, but I try to do something for myself before I respond to anyone or anything else.
Absolutely. That's great advice for moms as well, because if you leave yourself out or you put yourself off to the end of the day, you're not going to have the energy to do it. If you take care of yourself first, you've already satisfied everything you need for yourself, and you can give freely from your overflow, of course, to everyone else. You're a much better mom, friend, aunt, uncle, whatever, if you are taken care of first. So I love doing things for yourself in the morning.
Yeah. And one thing I want to remind people is that to get to know what you need for that self-care, like what is it that's self-care for you? Because it's not the same thing for everyone. For some people, it's a spa day. For some people, it's just quiet time. For some
And it's
people,
not the same thing
an activity.
within
Yeah.
yourself for the
Yeah.
moment, right?
And yeah. And for you, that can change. Like
Right.
sometimes it's like, okay, I need to exercise. I feel better after I exercise. So that's one thing. Another time it might be, I just need to sit here and stare at this wall. As in, I don't want to have to think about anything. So it's important to get to know what is going to give you that me time, that release.
Thanks for sharing. So there are a few comments in the Facebook chat.
Leanne, can we check time? Because I know it wraps at around 5:30. So
Yeah, but I think we're going to go a little over today, if that's all
okay,
right
cool.
with you guys.
Cool. No
I
problem.
want people to be able to ask you all some questions. And, before you take those questions, look, I really want you to realize how awesome these women are, because you can ask them questions about organization. You can ask them questions about being an entrepreneur. And that, Tiffany was very sweet, but what they really did is they saw a lack of opportunity for women, and they're created another 70 plus, I got that now, national organization to help other women who were being held back. So there's a lot of different things that you can ask them. So have at it. We're going to go over today.
So Diana says it's amazing to see these women come together in collaboration and supporting each other, which is what I love about the group and being in the group. Not just Ebony and Orderly, but SLAE is what I was thinking about. So we have a question. My husband is a paper hoarder, Carolyn.
This one's for you, Carolyn.
We have boxes from years ago. Can I toss it because it's too much to go through?
Oh, I understand the temptation. I definitely understand the temptation, but depending on if you know what's in the box, like again, mention legal ramifications. Are there any legal documents? There are some documents that you need to hang on to forever. And then how you toss it will make a difference, because some things has sensitive information. So does it actually need to be shredded? And also, is there something unknown that you may actually want in there? Like I've been through sorting through people's paper and found old pictures of, old family members, people who had passed on and stuff like that, or even money. I always find money in some form, shape, or another, be it a check or actual cash or whatever it is, gift cards and whatnot. So unless you're certain about what's in those boxes, I would not recommend just a complete toss, but maybe a periodic quick sort. The temptation when going through paper is to look at everything and spend time on it. And it's something that it takes a while to build up to, but starting to learn how to look at things with a quick eye, as in, what is this? Does it have any sensitive information on it? No. Is it a legal document? No. Then it can go. You want to avoid spending a lot of time on it, because if it's been in boxes for years, then 9 out of 10 times you don't need it, but you just want to like a quick, not even a full second glance to determine if it needs to be kept or not.
Can I interject just on paper in general or purging in general?
Mm-hmm.
When you're purging, and we have all kind of been all over the home, attics, crawl spaces, books, just it could be anything, garages. I always put my hand in every pocket, and I always flip through the pages of a book, because a lot of people of a certain age hide money in books because they're doing it as a security thing, right? You're like, the robbers are not going to steal books, and so they're literally $100 bills stacked in. Even if it's just a quick flip through the book, shake it out. Look in the jean pocket when you're giving things away. Look in purses. Purses are a big one. Credit cards, gift cards are rampant. We always forget to use gift cards. Check the expiration date on them, but there's always hidden little situations or the hiding spaces for valuable things, rings. You lose one diamond earring, you take the other one off while you're out and about, you stick it in your purse, you switch purses, that one little diamond earring, you could have had that reset into a pendant or a ring or whatever, but it's valuable. So make sure you're checking the pockets and checking those little hiding spaces whenever you are decluttering or getting organized.
And one last thing to add, if it's boxes and boxes as you're describing, then try to let go of the idea that you have to do it all in one sitting. That's when it becomes overwhelming. If you say that, okay, we're going to go through this, I'm going to have him go through this because I'm pretty sure he doesn't want you to throw it away. We're going to spend 20 minutes at a time until you eventually make your way through it, because the idea of doing it all at once is probably what keeps anybody from moving in the first place.
That viewer says she's got it, Carolyn. She hears you. She'll have him go through it, but she'll probably have to do it probably herself, which made me think about, Dina, you have a tip for, yes, you can hire a professional organizer to come, but Dina, you have another tip for people who aren't ready to hire a professional organizer yet with family and friends.
Oh, yes. So if you imagine Sex and the City, where I call it a purge party, right? One way for people who are on a budget to get a massive amount of productivity out of a space is to have a purge party. It's like a moving party, except that we are going through this stuff very, very quickly or over the span of a day. You provide food. If you're going to provide wine, I suggest you do it at the end, not at the beginning, right? So invite your friends over. And actually, the way that I solicit it for my business is I'll come and I'll teach everybody the techniques for whatever time block you want to do. Y'all can party all day long, but I'll kind of direct the traffic for the first 3 hours and teach everybody the system of what we're doing, and everybody kind of gets their role set in, and now you have all your girlfriends having a good time, playing music, stopping for lunch break. Purge parties are awesome, and it's that idea of Sex in the City. This gotta go. This, you're trying on, having fun, drinking champagne. You're voting on things. It can be any variation, any room in the house. Especially garages are really, really, really helpful. But that's got to be a really good meal out of a garage. I will say that. But yeah, purge parties are awesome. Inviting friends over, and kind of, if you can't afford the organizer, just look up some basics of clearing and purging and get together and say, I need help. One of you in the room has a little bit more experience than the other person. That person can kind of guide and direct the whole party. So yeah, thanks, Tiffany. I forgot all about that.
That's awesome. That takes so much of the pain out of purging, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I don't know if you don't mind if I say this, Tiffany, but I think during COVID, at least I'll just bust on myself. I can't be the only one, but I really started to look at the quantity of clothing, shoes, and jewelry I had, and I'm like, holy smokes, but then there's the whole, well, am I gonna wear that again? I'm not gonna wear that again. So maybe it'd be good to have one of my friends come over and just go, you ain't wearing that ever again, like that.
Or please don't wear that ever again.
That's what she's thinking. It's just whether she's going to say it like that or not.
Right, exactly.
Find the friend that will say it. We've all got at least one. Find the friend that will say it.
I know which one of my friends is like, no.
Yes. Invite her first.
Well, Candy, that is the viewer who's working on this, loves that idea of the purge party. And we also found out that someone's friend just found a life insurance policy for his dad worth $8,000.
Wow. Hello.
Yeah.
Money's everywhere.
Everywhere.
That's great motivation to get through your clutter. That is, even if you don't find anything, at the end of the day, you got through your clutter. But if you think that you may be holding on to the things that are inherited and maybe passed through, you're going through after a loss, that's a big one. A lot of my businesses, my motto is reclaiming your life one closet or session at a time, right? And so when you're going through that, sometimes there's a lot of loss and you don't know what to do quite yet with all those valuables. But it's really important to get through the paper piece first after a loss because of those exact reasons.
Yep.
We have a question or a situation I like to call it.
Uh-oh.
From Yvette, she says she has used planners and organizers in the past. How would you recommend organizing events and goals for 2 or more entrepreneurial careers, as well as personal and family life? One planner for all or more than one planner?
Tiffany, that one's for you.
The planner
That is
queen.
for me. I absolutely love planners, Yvette, and I have done both. I have had separate planners for different parts of my life, and I have had a planner all together. But anyway, fast forward. I am the founder of a school, and I have my organizing business. And I am a divorced single mom. So what I choose to do is color code in my planner, both digital and paper. So I keep a digital planner, like if I'm on the go, I can put it in on my Google Calendar, have that there. And then each week I sit down and using those same colors, and I don't even have one up here with me right now, but one of those pens, back when we were in school a long time ago and you could the color. Yes, I still have them. They still make them. And so I color code and put everything in order there. And I'll just add this, co-parenting. Dina and I have a presentation on organized co-parenting. And that's also something that we use a digital calendar, color coded as well. Things that I want my ex-husband to know and see on my calendar. I put that in we use the Cozy app, and my son is responsible for putting things in the Cozy app. And so we can also keep up with, I'm going to be away for a work trip. You need to make sure that you're free for this week. And so I would say use one planner or maybe two. It depends on, I don't know exactly what you have going on, Yvette, but use one and color code to keep up with everything. Any of you ladies want to add to that?
No, I completely agree. Color coding has worked for me over time, and I'm just reaching for my wonderful, they do make, I don't have the clicker pen, but I'm a Sharpie lover. And so green is something, pink is Ebony and Orderly, blue is workout and body related. Red is something else, I don't know. Black is our clients, and there's an orange somewhere for other scheduling. So across the board, through my oldest is 20, so probably when she was around 4 or 5, I started that and have done it consistently in my hard written planner. But these colors also coordinate with my Google Calendar, so it's consistent across the board. That blue is all my workouts or anything gym related is going to be blue on the calendar as well. Excuse me.
I want to be when I grow up. You guys are amazing. I can't tell if I'm more inspired or horrified as I listen to how organized you are.
Mine is completely out of necessity, because if you ask my mom, she'd be like, she was a slob growing up. She was a slob when she was a kid. But out of necessity, becoming a divorced single mom, the key to my success is being organized. The key to going from surviving to thriving is being organized. And so it touches all areas of your life. You get way more out of your life once you streamline it and really look at your life critically and kind of eliminate some things and let other things grow. So
I know we are past our time, ladies, but there are 2 more questions I just want us to touch on. So we're going to try to do it quickly, but thoroughly. All right. Challenge yourselves. Should I just not even open the box? I moved in 2019 and haven't yet touched it.
Well, should I just not open the box? Is that the question?
Should I just not even open the box? I moved in 2019 and haven't
Absolutely not. Open the box. Open the box.
I said, well, do you have any idea what's in it?
Right. It's because you haven't used it since 2019, it makes it that much easier to let it go, donate it, whatever is in the box, because now you've either repurchased it or you don't use that thing at all. And so it makes it easier, but there may be, again, that $8,000 policy, right? That money, that old purse that you probably threw, because there's always that miscellaneous box at the end, right? That you just pile. But how do we pack? We save our necessities for last to pack. And so that one box may be one of those boxes that you threw together, and it's a hodgepodge of things. You have to go through the box, open the box.
Oh, open the box, but open it with a mind of, I'm only looking to see if there's something important in it. Everything else can go. Meaning, I haven't worn it. I don't need it. I apparently haven't thought about wearing it because I wasn't looking for it. So open it and make sure that there's nothing that has significant personal value to you,
Right.
whether it's financial
Right.
or emotional value.
Mhm.
So yeah, don't just throw it away, but you can probably determine whether you really need what's in it quickly.
Right.
Okay. How long should we keep tax returns, Carolyn or Dina?
If it's business related, if it's related to my business, I'm always going to keep it indefinitely. If it relates to legal documents, divorce paperwork, or real estate, I'm always keeping it. If it's personal taxes, 7 years, they say.
Yeah.
But
I think
but outside of that, related to anything legal, tying my name to it, like some people change their name in a divorce or whatnot, anything in that realm, I keep forever, indefinitely. Real estate, divorce paperwork.
Yes, no doubt.
Divorce paperwork, bankruptcy information, anything related to your business, I'm going to keep forever.
Yeah.
But personal taxes, that for most people without a business, 7 years is still the magic number.
I think 7 years is that's as far back as they can go in terms of doing an audit.
Audit.
I've even heard some say that it's a good idea not to keep anything older because they say, oh, if you got the paper, then sure, let me go back. I don't know if that's true or not, but if you're uncomfortable, what I will say is if you're uncomfortable with letting things go that are really, really old, then maybe you don't have to keep it in paper form, as in get it scanned. And it can be digital and it's so that it's not taking up your space. Because paper, it takes up space and it's heavy too. So
Tips, guys. Last one. I love organizing and always wanted to start my own, and I think they mean to say my own business. Any suggestions on how to begin?
Just like Nike, just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. And this is an obstacle, a mental obstacle that most young organizers have. And all of us probably have been through it in pricing and should I charge people and I'm not charging my family. All these conversations are around the fact that you have a skill set that someone else doesn't have. A fourth grader is a genius to a third grader. Right. And so you can, if you want to give your services away for free for 6 months and to build your confidence, but it's
and your portfolio.
And your portfolio, it's all about your mindset. Do you think that this is valuable? Then you'll charge for it. Do you want to step out on it? Any tips? Just start. You don't have to have a business plan. You don't have to have a game plan. You don't have to have an Instagram account. You can call yourself an organizer by organizing your things and taking pictures of it. A professional organizer is one who charges for those services. So you can charge someone $5 and call yourself an organizer. So just start, because you'll learn so much in the doing. You'll build momentum in the doing. You can work on your confidence, join the National Association of Black Professional Organizers. You'll work on your confidence in that way and build and form relationships. You could also, I'm sorry, Carolyn, I know you got some.
No, you're good. Go for it.
Also, I just love there was so much lack when I was starting out. I was so insecure. I went to another national association and was not received warmly. I was giving away services. At the time, I was a licensed therapist, and I wanted to kind of test and feel out, do I want to do the physical part of organizing? Because that is an actual thing that people don't consider, that it's an extraordinarily physical job. You can set your own prices, but it is physical at the end of the day. And I was literally like, hey, I'll go on a job with any of you for free. I just want to get it all on me and get the experience. You can assist and be someone, an established organizer's assistant or mentor or mentee or trainee even, and get paid to have them basically on the job training. They need extra hands as well.
Yep.
And so work for someone, work under someone, organize your family, organize your own home, organize your friends, and you'll build the confidence pretty quickly once you break a few sweats and wear out a few pair of shoes, right?
Right.
And so you'll build the confidence to start charging and really creating the business formation around that piece of it. But really get out there and feel it out to see if it's something that you really want to physically do.
And you can message us at Ebony and Orderly on Facebook. Just send us a message, a DM, and we'd be happy to jump on a call and chat with you about getting started with organizing.
Absolutely.
You all are so fabulous. Thank you so much. So
you are welcome.
A couple things I'd like to do. One is I, on my own, went out and ordered this. Highly recommend this. Blah, blah, blah. This is a Prioritizing You 28-day journal. And not only does it give you inspiration and places that you can journal, but there's some awesome quotes in there. Jim Rohn, one of my favorites, Leonardo da Vinci. There's all kinds of incredible quotes and stuff done by them. And, you know, it supports their organization. It was very inexpensive and it's really, really cool. So I'd love to put your website, you know, we'll put a link with your website. I'd love to put a link also for your organization. So if there are people who are in your industry or trying to get in, they can join your organization as well. And then I assume that people can contact you if they want to, you know, do a virtual, or if they're in Atlanta, there's people in Atlanta in here as well. But either way, they can reach out to all of you in the group too.
Absolutely.
And we do travel. We travel and, you know, spend days organizing in a space as well.
Did you just move in with me?
I'm free in July.
In all seriousness, how far do you travel, Tiffany? I was just playing around, but how far do you travel?
Oh, Tiffany likes to travel.
We traveled. I mean, I'll travel internationally, but well, can I just say this real quick? I was in South Africa and rolled past this store, and it had a bunch of like just like baskets and containers that you would see at the dollar store, and I was like, look, the container store is here. I had to have them pull over so I could go through these bins and baskets. Anyway, so yeah, I will travel anywhere to do some organizing. But yes, so we do travel. We can come, you know, as one or two of us, or one of us, depending on what the specialty is. And we also travel and then help you get started and get your place, you know, organized in a system, and then help you find an organizer in your area that can help with maintaining that. So
right.
That's a big.
I usually am out of Texas and Georgia and Florida. I kind of where the most of my clients are, if you will. If I'm traveling, it's usually to one of those 3 states for whatever reason.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I love your purge party idea. I thought that was amazing.
Absolutely.
For all of you who have been in the group, look, you can always give things away to a charity, but I will plug 2 of them that have been in here. If you have one of those drawers, which is a cell phone grave, you know, if you have old phones, even broken phones that you can't even charge anymore, flip phones, or if you have anything like that, the House of Ruth will accept them. There's a post I made in the last week about that inside the group, and the House of Ruth will take that and they get money for it, and it helps them to support people who are victims of domestic violence. And then there is another charity called Success in Style that we featured in the previous interview, and they will take your old clothing, and if it is professional clothing, they will help women who are returning to the workforce. And that could be somebody who was, you know, for health issues was not working, somebody who relocated, someone who was incarcerated, someone who was, again, in domestic violence, but they will take your clothing. And if you have something fancy no one will wear to work, they will take, you know, a ball gown or a prom dress or whatever, and they have a boutique that sells it. And that is how they fund the organization. And if that doesn't work, most major cities have Dress for Success, you know, and there's a lot of charities. So when we purge, we can help other women, which is
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you are all incredible. I thank you so much. And before we wrap up, I also want to want to take a quick minute and share an announcement. that we have been getting quite a few requests. What about that woman who talked 2 months ago and I can't remember her name, and what was that nonprofit? So starting today, we are starting a YouTube channel, and you will be able to catch interviews. We'll be posting them of the past interviews. So it's very easy. It's SLAE, SLAE with Leanne Gabriel. Just go to YouTube. You can subscribe to it, and we will continue to load awesome interviews like these dynamic ladies. So I'm catching up a little bit. Give us a little bit, but we're pretty close to caught up on loading the past ones too. So again, thank you all so much for your personalities, your wisdom, your advice, your encouragement, and more than anything, being a stand for women having everything in their life. It's just awesome. Really appreciate you all being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure. And please check in. I'm sure you'll get more commentary over the next day or two.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Take care, everybody. We will see you next Tuesday. Have a great week.